Hi, I'm Nick Thorne, the Nosey Genealogist. So, do you need some help finding your English ancestors? Well, I'd like to deal with 3 mistakes that people make with the English and Welsh Census. Mistake number 1 is assuming that your ancestors told the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Now, why wouldn't they do that? Well, maybe for the sake of appearance. Perhaps they've changed their ages, especially if there's a large difference in it. And in very often in occasions where the wife was significantly older than the husband, she may well have reduced her age to make it look just a little bit more respectable. Maybe they say they're married and they haven't actually gone through a wedding ceremony. The other thing to look for are grandchildren who are down as children because they're the illegitimate offspring of some of the teenagers in the household. Did the enumerator get the information confused? Did they write it up incorrectly? Did they get it from perhaps the spouse, and the spouse didn't really know the husband's details, where he was born or the age when he was born? It could have been an adult child who just didn't really know much about their parents' ages and place of birth and just assumed that they were born in the same town as they'd always lived in. So, what if somebody came to your door today and asked you questions about all the people in your household? Would you be able to get all the answers correct, especially if the answers were not that important to you, as in the past, perhaps the age of people wasn't all that important? Mistake number 2 is not questioning the relationships. Now, it may not be all that it seems to be. You have the head of the household, his wife, and some children. But like in my case, I went back through the records and I was pretty sure that I was descended from a certain child. I then found their parents, as I thought, in the census, only to discover that the wife was in fact the second wife and was the stepmother of the children. But of course I wasn't aware of that, and so I made the huge error of tracing the wrong family. I started tracing the stepmother's family. Often in the past a man may have remarried very quickly because he needed a wife and mother to look after his family. So be aware of that. The other thing to look out for is where the mother brings her children into the household, and that child adopts the stepfather's surname, and so therefore you could end up tracing the wrong family there, tracing the stepfather's family when it's really the biological father that you should be looking for. Mistake number 3 is wrong spelling. Names could be written down how they sounded to the enumerator. So think of the local accent of the person who might have been telling them that they were called Cecil, and so they wrote it down as Sesil. Also, you've got to think of the fact that transcription errors creep into our census records online, and think of not everyone knew how to read or write in those times, and so the person may be under a misapprehension as to how their name was spelt. So say the names out aloud and think how they might have been misheard or misspelt. To find out more about how to tease out your elusive English or Welsh ancestors, go over to www.noseygenealogist.com/discover.